through our years of living in Germany, and with as deceptively similar both countries' cultures can be, we have been shocked to find some things that exist in Germany that even after 29 years on this planet, we had never seen before. Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. If you are seeing this video, that means that we have had our baby and are actually taking a little bit of leave. So as you are watching this video, we are probably making some really interesting notes for a video on what it is like having a baby in a foreign country. So that may come, but just like last week, I couldn't go completely without uploading something for you guys while we are taking time off, as if having a baby is going to be a vacation. So I have prepared a few videos on various themes in which I have taken some of our favorite topics from past videos and compiled them into one video on that specific theme. And I think that there will be quite a few of these that you will have never seen. I will leave a link to the original videos of each part for you guys to check out if you would like. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoy this video on a few things that we had never seen before moving to Germany. We are originally from a state in the southern US called Oklahoma and now live in the southwestern German state of Rheinland-Pfalz. Both of these places have their own unique subcultures that may not be representative of the two countries as a whole. Therefore, let me know your individual experiences with these things in the comments below and where you are from. And let's just remember, just because one place does something one way and another place does it another way, doesn't always mean there are rights and wrongs, maybe just simply different ways of doing things.
Germans and Americans both have very different eating habits when it comes to breakfast foods, and because of that, sometimes there are tools in American kitchens or German kitchens that you won't find in the others. In the case of a German kitchen, one tool you won't find in American kitchens is known very simply as an Eierschalen Sollbruchstellen Leverschrugesacker.
Eierschalen-Sollbruchstellen verursachen.
Ugh, well, that word is actually a mouthful and was most likely just created as a marketing stunt for this product. Most Germans would know this product simply as an Eierkopfer or an Eieropener.
How often do you find yourself cooking a nice boiled egg but can't actually eat it? You try cracking it, rolling it, smashing it to get that delicious soft inside, but every time it just ends up being a crumble mess of shell and egg. What a mess. Well, not anymore, thanks to the German engineering and the Eierschalen Sollbruchstellen Verursacher. This little German invention is made to make getting the shell out of the way when eating a boiled egg easier. You simply set it on top of the egg in an egg cup, raise the weighted ball, and let it drop. You can do it a couple of times, but once you have, you are left with a perfect line cracked around the top of the egg. We have seen online that sometimes you are able to just pull the top shell right off with the egg opener, but most of the times we just have to take a knife and it slides right through the crack and that pops the top off. Then you are able to easily eat the egg right out of the shell. This invention is quite uniquely German, considering that in the US, Americans don't really have a need for something like this, at least based on the data from a YouGov study in which they found that given the choice of egg type, Americans are most likely to prefer scrambled eggs and least likely to prefer boiled eggs. But is this data skewed because Americans didn't come up with a useful tool like this, and it was so hard to eat boiled eggs they just gave up, whereas Germans persevered and developed this tool? We'll let you decide.
In one of the first videos we did after moving to Germany, which unfortunately is our #1 most popular video, and I would suggest you not watch it to avoid the cringe, but in it we discussed something we didn't know existed and were surprised by, and that being our poop shelf toilet. Now, what is ironic about this is that our toilet really isn't a true poop shelf toilet, something we have since learned through experience.
True poop shelf toilets typically are reverse of what you are used to, where the bowl really is less a bowl and more a platter with a flat and long shelf, and there's a small drain at the front of the bowl rather than at the back. This way, everything is caught on the high platform before splashing down, and according to our understanding, they are this way so that you are better able to inspect your stool after going. One thing we have noticed because of this design and the lack of water covering up the excrements is that they often are the stinkier of the toilets to use.
Of course, there are health benefits to knowing the status of your poo and how you should maybe change your diet based on what you see, but we're still not convinced we need these types of toilets to exist. Now, we're all about trying new experiences, having open minds, and hearing other world views. So how about you Germans? We've heard these are going out of style, but do you still like them and do you have one?
Real quick, I wanted to come back to say more than ever, it would mean a lot if you supported our channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Also, a huge shout out to our patrons over on Patreon for supporting us in the way that they do. Again, in particular, it means a lot as we are making this huge family transition right now. Now, back to the video. Also, as many of you know, I passed my German B1 language certification exam over a year ago, and I did so after taking part in an integration course at our local Volkshochschule. A Volkshochschule, or VHS for short, doesn't really have a great translation in English, or specifically American English, because schools like these don't really exist in the US. But we could just call it an adult education center to get the idea across of what they are. The closest thing in most American cities to a VHS would have to be a community college, but a VHS doesn't typically offer certifications or degrees for most of their courses, making them a little bit different. Volkshochschules really are community schools set up to encourage lifelong learning and continuing education for all in German communities, and that is exactly why Volkshochschules are the next thing on my list that just makes sense. These schools are funded by multiple different avenues, such as grants from the state, grants from the municipality it is in, subsidies from the federal government, private donations, etc. And one stipulation though is that these schools must earn more than 1/3 of their financial resources from enrollment fees for classes. Because of how these schools are funded, they are able to offer fairly inexpensive classes to make it accessible to everyone in the community, and classes are available during the weekdays, nights, and on the weekends depending on the class. These schools are found throughout the country, and it is not hard to find one near you. They offer classes on nearly any subject or hobby you can imagine. Want to learn a language? Want to learn to paint? How about learn to use a computer? What about a wine tasting class? Water jogging? The history of rock and roll? Or professional development? I've been continuously amazed looking at the breadth of curriculum these schools offer German communities, and it has provided me lots of entertainment to see just how unexpected some of these themes are. I've also found them to be a great way of meeting other people in the local community with common goals or interests, as well as making them something that just make sense. As a new year begins, in Germany, you will start to see chalk letters and numbers appearing over doors of homes and businesses that looks like some sort of secret code or complex mathematical equation. Most of these chalk codes we see start with the number 20, followed by an asterisk, then C, then a plus sign, an M, another plus sign, B, another plus sign, and then may end with 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, etc. After some investigative work and being surprised on January 6th with people posting online about carolers coming to their house and writing on their doors, we've never actually been visited by carolers ourselves, we learned that these equations deciphered are actually blessings on the homes for the upcoming year. The numbers at the beginning and end are the new year, so in this year's case, they will now have a 20 at the beginning and a 21 at the end. The asterisk is actually a star representing the Bethlehem star. The plus signs are actually representations of crosses, and the CMB stands for Christ Mansionem Benedicat, Latin for may Christ bless this house.
In the Bible, 3 wise men arrived to bring baby Jesus gifts after he was born, and they had the revelation that he is the Christ. This is called Epiphany. Epiphany is celebrated on January 6th, and in Germany, to mark this historical moment, Sternsingers or star singers from the local parish go from house to house singing carols, reciting poems, collecting donations for children aid projects around the world, and writing this chalk blessing over doors. These Sternsingers are little children dressed as the 3 wise men and angels. They will typically carry a rod with the Bethlehem star on it and buckets to collect donations after they sing and bless the house with the chalk equation. We also have seen it explained that the CMB could also represent the names of the three wise men, Casper, Melchior, and Balthazar. But that seems to be a debated issue on forums across the German internet, and when we received our blessing this year, the local parish included a leaflet that explains this is false.
Sometimes homes may have years and years of blessings still written on their house that aren't cleaned off before the next year's blessings. This, of course, is what led to our confusion seeing all the different numbers. But sometimes you also find black stickers with chalk blessings printed on them for easier cleanup and removal once that year or festive season is over. Particularly this year, Standsingers are not allowed to go house to house, so they have found alternative ways of giving blessings like virtually, or you can write into your local parish and they will send you a blessing sticker in the mail like we did. We have heard this is mainly a Catholic and Southern German tradition, but we wonder if other parts of Germany know about this tradition. Let us know in the comments below. A new school year has begun in Germany for most school children, and with that brought some very interesting differences we started noticing, including one thing being sold in stores that we had never seen before. This thing also is used on all sorts of back to school signs as the symbol of a new school year starting that is very unique to Germany. What we are specifically talking about are called different names depending on what part of Germany you are in, but can be called a Schultüte or a Zuckertüte. At first glance, honestly, to an outsider and foreigner, they just look like birthday party hats being sold in stores, but we soon learned they are definitely not that.
It seems this tradition varies a lot from region to region or even home to home, so we need you to tell us what you know about these in the comments below. But basically what we have learned is that these are typically cone-shaped bags that are filled with sweets, toys, and school supplies, and they are given to children as they start their very first day of school ever. So not every year on the first day of school, but just that very first day as they are going into the first grade. The ones that we saw in stores can be bought already decorated, but most of the time they are decorated at home by either the parent or the child, depending on their tradition. The kids then take them to school on their first day, and all the kids are able to show each other their Schultüten and how they are decorated because they often reflect their personal interests and personalities.
It seems like it makes the whole day a little more exciting and like a major life milestone that they get to celebrate as they begin their long education. But because we never got to celebrate this, we would love if we could get our German viewers to write in the comments what their Schultüte traditions are, how theirs was decorated, when did you open yours, and what was in yours exactly. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is, what is your favorite holiday? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you in our next video. You simply set it on top of it. You simply set it on top of the egg in an A cup. A cup?
A cup.
You simply set it on top of the egg in an A cup.
It's not an A cup, it's not a bra.
An A cup. You simply set it on top of the egg in an egg. Gosh,
Just sort of egg.